Dropping stuff. The art of trying something new only to prematurely quit it due to something. Usually negative though, not to be confused, to be taken in the dropping a glass of water or an album sense. To start off, let me make something clear. I'm talking about dropping media for a reason in the media or your interest. If you dropped something because you had to start working double shifts and couldn't find the time or anything life related, I understand, and this doesn't apply to you. So, dropping media. You've done it, I've done it. A lot. You just picked up a new show, you weren't quite sure if you'd like it, but decided to give it a shot anyway. Halfway through episode 1, you decide, no, this is not my cup of tea, and drop the show, never to be tried again. This is not a valid drop. Today we are gonna look at the validity of dropping something. For the show you just dropped, what situation would result in a valid drop? Meaning, you gave it an actual shot and were in the right position to drop said show. That depends on the length of the media. So, we're gonna take a random indie show, Breaking Bad. The entire show is 62 episodes plus a movie, but we're gonna leave the movie out of this. Season 1 is 7 episodes. The basic gist of a valid drop is that the more effort you put into your attempt to get into the something, the less people can argue your invalidness. For example, if you watched the entirety of season 1 of Breaking Bad and decided it's not your thing and dropped it, that's the most valid drop ever. But not everybody has 5 hours and 30 minutes to put into testing if they like a show. And that's not what I'm asking of you. So let's get relative. Anime fans use a general rule of thumb where you watch the first 3 episodes of a show and after decide if you want to keep watching or not. Anime lengths are all over the place, but for the sake of argument, we'll take a 24 episode anime. With an episode lasting 20 minutes, we are looking at 12% of the show watched to decide. That 12% in Breaking Bad will be 6 hours or 5 episodes, which tells you math ain't the solution. Let me give you an example to illustrate my point. It is all on a case-by-case basis. Although I think watching the first 3 episodes applies to most anime when you want to decide if you want to watch it or not. For One Piece, I would recommend you watch till Arlong Park. Arlong Park ends at episode 44. This for me is a valid attempt. The show has kinda shown you what the rest of it will be like, even though it only gets better and more complex. If you drop One Piece after Arlong Park, you have legitimately tried. Which brings me to my next point. Knowing yourself is way more important than watching or playing something till XYZ. The chances of you loving something will lower drastically if you are subconsciously hoping you won't through bias, or generally don't like the genre at all. So when you go outside of your comfort zone, try to avoid the cold plunge and instead go for something that is a little colder than what you are used to, but not that crazy, you know? Imagine if there was 100% chance of you not liking something, which is impossible in reality, but for the sake of argument. No amount of playing will change that fact. Your mindset going in is way more important than the amount of time you put in. Try to find something outside of your ballpark, but with some stuff you've liked in the past. For example, I'm trying ice cream for the first time, and I'm kinda skeptical because it looks kinda weird, and the lady serving it is rushing me because I've been trying to decide for the last 2 minutes and a big line is forming behind me. What I can think is, I like mangoes, so let me try the mango flavor, even though it's ice cream and I've never tried. And I end up liking it. This seems simple, but these decisions can literally alter your entire life. Let's do a pit stop for movies real quick. Just sit through the entire movie. Imagine yourself being in the theater when you watch a movie. If you would get up out of the theater, it is okay to stop. If not, finish the movie, please. The rules for shows don't apply here, but sometimes they're 3 hours, I don't care, and you're doing yourself a disservice by stopping, because now you cannot take part in discussion, and having missed a chunk of the movie means you cannot explain why you didn't like it to the same extent as the guy who also disliked it but sat through the entire thing. Movies were designed to be watched in their entirety, and something like One Piece is designed to be watched, well, not in one sitting. Games. we finally got to the meat and my true reason for making this video. We instantly need to take into account that you need to learn how to play a game before you can play it. If 5-year-old me is explaining the rules of tic-tac-toe to my best friend and he decides he doesn't want to play mid-explanation, he has not given the game a try, and you could even say that he has not dropped it since we haven't played yet. Video games differ here a little bit in that most of the time the game teaches you how things work during play and not in the traditional way of explaining or teaching by showing. So technically you have played the game the moment your inputs have made something happen on screen, but putting a game up and walking for 2 minutes is no attempt to play it. Remember, the validity of the drop is based on the amount of effort put in by the consumer. So it is safe to say that you give the game the time it needs to explain itself and some time in the actual gameplay loop with the main bulk of the tutorials finished or when you are out of the tutorial area. Let's look at a few games and see where it is valid to drop them. Elden Ring. If you reach Margit, and preferably you have beaten him, but if you couldn't, which is pretty unlikely if you did everything in Limgrave, that's fine too. You can drop it. After Margit, you can drop it. Cocoon. After you get the orange planet and use it a little bit, do some of the puzzles with it, that's fine. Enter the Gungeon. After unlocking some of the weapons and growing a basic understanding of the game. Doom Eternal. You don't drop Doom Eternal. Conclusion. Play some games, try some that spark your interest, and if you bounce off them really quick, don't ride them off forever. Thank you.